Here we are, 23 hours and 7 minutes into our 24-hour newsroom, and you are the last person that I'm going to be speaking to, Erin. So thank you for agreeing to talk to me. Okay? Now...
My pleasure.
Huh?
My pleasure.
Your pleasure. Oh, thank you. There we go. I knew I was dealing with a professional. That's what I like, you know. Now, I'm quite interested because the last time that you came to visit in November with your two younger brothers and your mum and dad, you came to visit because it was Kids in Museums Takeover Day here at the Documentary Media Centre. And we did lots of different activities, didn't we? Had lots of fun, didn't we? But you took away with you, as you guys always do, you always take something away, don't you, to have a look at or use at school. And you took a DVD from me about World War II. There it is. Bring it back. That's right, don't bring it back, it's locked down, it's okay. Now, you took that because you were doing World War II at school, is that right? Okay, so what sort of things were you doing when you were doing your work at school? What sort of things did the teacher get you doing?
Started writing about poems about Flanders Field, writing speeches about Hitler and acting as soldiers, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So did you learn anything about being a young person, or did you learn anything about children and stuff in World War II?
Yeah. They had to go as evacuees to different families out into the countryside.
Okay. So sort
mostly
of...
from London.
Yeah, from London. So like, yeah, where my father, a lot of his friends were like evacuated because he was from the East End of London in World War II. So he remembers the bombing and stuff. So I think he was 5, nearly 6 when the war ended. So people would have been leaving London, coming to places like where you live. What would you think that would be like to travel somewhere like that without your mum and dad?
Scary, frightful. What would you do? Probably cry.
Probably cry, yes. And you'd be going to someone as well that you didn't know. So you're not going to an aunt and uncle or a grandma or a granddad. You're going to a complete stranger. I mean, that's incredible to think of something like that now, isn't it? Imagine to escape lockdown with your mum and dad. You were sent off to a complete stranger somewhere 100 miles away.
Oh, but not like that.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it? It's really quite scary. Did you enjoy learning about World War II?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably my most favourite subject.
Okay.
Well, favourite topic.
And why? Why was that?
Because it's interesting. People save from world destruction of Hitler. They stop Hitler invading stuff.
Okay, cool.
I kind of like those stuff.
Okay. And what countries can you remember the names of?
Countries around the world.
Yeah.
Germany,
Yep.
France, Great Britain, so Europe, USA, and I think it was a little bit of India.
Okay,
too.
That's good. So you learnt about quite a lot of places in the world.
Yeah, I forgot Italy.
And Italy as well. Okay, that's interesting. And that's where my dad, his father, William, was killed in Italy in World War II. And that's who I'm named after. So John William. William is my dad's dad that was killed. And my mum's dad, John, he was killed as well in the RAF. So it's the impact that conflicts have like that, even though it was a long time ago. So next Friday is Victory in Europe Day. We've got a bank holiday, which would be a big thing if you were at school. But being as we're not at school and locked down, it's not really a big thing, is it? Okay. And we're kind of, for me, it's about thinking about, with my mum and dad, you know, their parents that they never met, So my dad doesn't remember his dad, and my mum was born after her dad was killed. So, but I'm named after them, so I'm actually a constant reminder all of those years afterwards of grandparents. And I think it's thinking about the impact that it has on people, maybe finding out from your family as well, your grandparents, on your mum and dad's families, about those kind of things. It's important that we learn about that, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then we could tell on the stories of past.
That's important, isn't it? There we go. I knew I should speak to you. Finally, we've got someone who's talking a bit of sense. That's what we like.
I don't normally talk sense.
That's what your mum and dad said to me. Yeah, and I think they were a little bit nervous that I wanted to talk to you. But I appreciate you taking the time for doing it. Yeah, and you can keep it on Facebook Live and share it with all your friends. Yeah, tell them you're famous. Tell them I'm famous, and then they'll like that. That'd be cool. So is there anything you want to ask me before we go?
What's her name? Tina. How's Tina?
She's all right. She's at home doing all of our social media for the last 23 hours and 14 minutes. So she's been brilliant. And I've also got here, I'm going to turn around so you can see, I've got Jurian, who's been with me doing all of our technology, keeping us live at various times, and all the people that we've spoke to. We've had a good time. It's been good, worth doing. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Okay. Can you put your mum or dad on?
Hello.
Hi mum, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very well. Did she talk to you much about what she was studying at school at the time? Did it come home in the form of homework and stuff?
Ish.
Yeah.
She's very sort of. She'll either talk about it or she won't talk about it. We've had a few discussions. They did a lot about Flanders Fields and bits and bobs like that. So.
Anything you didn't know?
It's probably jogged my memory about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And until we talk about it, I guess it's things that you maybe have done in the past, but you don't really think about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think going back to when I was at school, we did quite a bit about World War One rather than World War Two, which was a bit strange, I guess. But obviously, from talking to my parents and grandparents, you sort of get a bit of the story from that anyway.
And I mean, I suppose on the blog post that I put up a picture of Captain, or now Colonel Tom Moore, you know, who's raising an incredible amount of money. And the interesting thing about that is that generational thing, isn't he? He's like everybody's favourite granddad. But also the fact that, you know, when they make a documentary about his life, which they said they're going to, I think one of the major TV channels, is the fact that he actually fought in World War II, but in the Burmese campaign, which is often called the Forgotten Army, because a lot of people don't realise that we were fighting there. Well, thought it was Europe or, you know, the Americans sort of fighting in the Pacific and stuff. So I suppose one of the benefits from a character like that, is the fact that he's able to get us to think about. And I think also he seems quite a humble man, and he talks about like when they gave him the Battle of Britain flight, the Spitfire and Hurricane flyover for his birthday, he said, you know, but bear in mind, they're flying over now in peace. I've seen them fly over in anger. And I think that's really a lot to be learned there about the impact of conflict. You know, it's about commemoration and not celebrating war fighting, but remember sometimes why we fought, but also the impact on other people. Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you for talking to me. Appreciate it. See you later, Erin.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks, Kate.
Bye.
See ya.
Later. Bye.